Hey guys, Lancer here. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for joining me while we're looking to some MTG stocks and also the stock market. Now, as always, I'd like to combine them both because it's surprising how many times they are correlated, especially when it comes to crypto stocks and investing in any really quick tradable assets. Now, I'm not going to call all of MTG equivalent, but certainly when it comes to the reserve list, it has a lot of old money behind it, especially nowadays, which means that sometimes they will follow what happens in the market because a lot of people actually take out loans to buy some of these cards. And when things get tricky in the markets where people start losing jobs, then they have no choice but to sell. So, why am I showing you this? Now, the reason is we are yet to see the outcome of the next, I think it's the 21st or 22nd, the Federal Reserve meeting. In that Federal Reserve meeting, they're going to decide between a 75 basis point increase and a 100-point increase. And if they go for the 75 and then act and talk really hawkish for the November rate rise and possibly even the late December, January rate rise, we could see the markets throwing a decent tantrum. Now, that could mean a lot of things. That could also mean that a lot of people start panic selling the markets in crypto, which will impact what happens in the MTG markets. Now, I already can see some influence, but nothing too crazy because these are already lower than they were in 2021. So if you are in the MTG market right now, looking to pick up some of these cards, you're way better off doing it now than 6 to 12 months ago. That's just a fact. There's no way that I can go. You couldn't even find some of these cards 12 months ago. They were not even available and they were hugely skewed. Yeah, I can't imagine buying some of those cards for the prices that they were. If you averaged in, that's fine because you didn't go all in at the top. But right now is not a bad time to also move in. But let's move over to the TCG player. We can see that as far as the graph says, there is no bounce back for at least some of these lands. A moderately played for 324 doesn't sound too bad. 10 listings seems a bit low. Well, once again, I'm going to give that up to the fact that a lot of these are stacked on top of each other, where there's 9 moderately played from Jora's Closet. Interesting name. And, we got 5 here, lightly played as well. So you've got many cards in here that are just stacked on top of each other. And we're going to have to see where the market goes for a lot of these. So I'll come back to that. Let's move on to see what the movers and shakers are from MTG Goldfish for the standard and modern Pioneer, and even maybe the vintage, though that is weirdly skewed, it always is. So we got a 26% gain for Meathook Massacre. That card should probably not have been printed, but it is an insane card and it probably will keep its value unless it's been banned in Standard and Pioneer, etc. It's just a really good card. It's even used in Commander because it's so powerful as a board wipe. Shieldred, the Apocalypse, 8% gain for it, $42. So if you get the Phyrexian pool foil, you're looking at like a $100 card. It's actually quite insane. Teferi, Who Slows the Sunset, a 15% gain. Wedding Announcement, 36% gain to now set at $4. And Tenacious Underdog, 59% gain to now set at $2.25. Takanuma Abandoned Maya, 13% gain to now set at $5.63. That is actually really amazing art. So, biggest loss, Timeless Lotus, 13% drop. I actually think that this is probably going to drop to like $10. It has a name behind it because it's a Lotus, but the fact that it comes into play tapped and you had to jump through some hoops to make it come into play untapped is a pain. It's a good card, but it's not as insane. It all depends on how many of these are actually pulled. Lily of the Veil. Okay, I don't mind this art, but the fact is, we can actually see, at least not in here, but in the modern, there you go, Liliana of the Veil. In the modern one, the old Liliana of the Veil still has a better premium on her. So this is a $40 card now, 8% drop. Defiler of Vigor, 25% drop, nasted at $7.50. Ajani Slipper Agent, 27% drop to nasted at $5.65. Joda the Unified, 20% drop to nasted at $6.49. Lamagoyf, Uborg Logoyf, 50% drop to nasted at $1.50. Vesuvian Diplomacy, 13% drop to nasted at $10.37. Weatherlight Completed, 16% drop to nasted at $6.88. Braids Arisen Nightmare, 34% drop to nasted at $2.50. And Jaya Fiery Negotiator, 20% drop to nasted at $5. No real surprise here. A lot of these are obviously getting pulled in a lot more numbers, especially in the last couple of days. Apparently, the draft pack is terrible. Collector packs are very flat. This is coming from Rudy. So there's a chance that because of what's happening in the market, Wizard Coast is going to have a lot of trouble selling these packs for the excess, because they also bumped up their price, remember? What is it, 11% increase for most of their products. So if they're having trouble selling some of these products, they might have no choice but to lower the price again. We'll see what they say. Moving over to Modern. There's some pretty cool stuff in here. So we got some old school Auntie's Hovel. Now, why is that? Is that because of the new Command Zone episode? I remember someone playing an Auntie's Hovel, but I just didn't think that it was that insane. Okay. Anyway, 82% gain to nasted at $30.99. There is a chance that because it is from one of the low-win sets, it was just very, very small opening. So a lot of these cards are just not out there. Season, Perverter of Truth, 134% gain to nasted at $20.95. Okay, that one I'm not 100% sure about. He's not even a good commander card. I have him. I might play him, but there's a pretty high chance that when everyone's done drawing their cards, they're going to kill him before my turn. And then I'm not going to get to draw my 2 or 3 cards. He's not bad, but at the same time, I just can't imagine this much of a jump unless someone puts some spotlight on him. Biggest gains of over 10%. Blood Chief Ascension, 11% gain. Now set at $26.58. I should probably get rid of one of my copies. Lord of Atlantis, 14% gain to now sit at $19.61. And Atakadak, Antiadake, the Cloud Keeper. Okay, sure. 73% gain to now sit at $5.46. The biggest drops, nothing too crazy. We only got one. Dan for 16% drop to now sit at $8. What is this? 2 blue, creature, fish, 4/1. Can't attack unless defending player controls an island. When you control no island, sacrifice it. Feels terrible. It's a 4/1. Anyways, moving on. So we got season, and yeah, literally it happened in 2 days. It spiked up in 2 days, or 2 or 3 days. It's crazy. Moving over to Pioneer, Mox Amber still gaining, 90% gain, $59.18. Mystic Forge, 29% gain to now set at $13.84. The Seeker, God of the Tree, 23% gain to now set at $9.75. Villas, Broker of Blood, 27% gain to now set at $7.86. Sage of Ours, 18% gain to now set at $7. Witherbloom Command, 25% gain to now set at $4.88. Days Undoing, 11% gain to now set at $9.74. Conspicuous Snoop, 28% gain to now sit at $3.98. Once again, the biggest drops, nothing, really not many things over 10%. It's starting to remind me of the middle of 2020 and 2021 again. 13% drop for Dragonlord Colligan, which is actually a pretty good one. It gives all the creatures haste. So what is going on? As far as I can tell, massive gains for certain cards and very limited gains for others. So people are holding on to cards and buying other ones. So the market still feels pretty hot, at least as far as Modern and Pioneer is concerned this week. Weekly change. Underground Sea is now cancelled out by Volcanic Island. Volcanic Island, apparently for Unlimited, dropped by 42%, which seems very manipulated. Underground Sea gained by 34 cents, which is also very weirdly manipulated. See, that's the problem with these. It's just too spiky. Even if I move over to the vintage market, the price gains and losses here, very hard to track. So that's the reason why I'd always go back to MTG stocks and TCG player, because they at least have their own price graph, which is accurate enough. I can see in the 6 month it is still flatlining, but over time there are some pretty decent drops in the last couple of days. So what do I think is going to happen? I think in the last video, and I kind of still believe it, the Federal Reserve is trying to have a soft landing and also bring interest rates down. And they're doing a really bad job of both. The markets don't trust them. And because the market doesn't trust them, the market behaves in a way that's very risky. And then when the markets then panic, they panic very badly. So the example would be the last 5 days, where the last 5 days, the market was just like, I don't believe the Fed. Whatever they say, whatever they do, it doesn't really matter. They're cowards. They're not going to increase interest rates that much. And then the CPI and the reports came out yesterday, and the markets were like, oh crap, this is actually so bad that the Federal Reserve might have no choice but to act. And then it flushed down all the gains for the last 4 days. So that's a really bad way for the markets to act, because they just don't trust what the Federal Reserve is going to do. And probably for good reasons, because for the last 10 years or 12 years, the Federal Reserve has done nothing but parent the markets and give them all the drugs it needed to keep it afloat. So we're going to have to see what happens with this, because they seem a bit more focused this time on actually bringing inflation down. But a lot of people just don't trust them. So let's have a look at Tropical Island, some of these bigger hits, and Underground Sea, just to make sure, because I think Underground Sea is a weird one as well, where it was flatlining for the longest time. So yeah, you got it. It's for a month, it's just been flatlining for Tropical Island. What's the best one? Moderately played for 448. Lightly played for 480. That doesn't sound too bad. Let's have a look at Underground Sea. Yeah, lightly played for 690. That actually doesn't sound too bad. I'm going to have to start going back and checking my book from 2020 to see if it's some of these numbers are starting to get close to mine. Remembering that I obviously got it from the Australia, so my price would be kind of skewed, but still, the price drops feel pretty decent now. Moving back to the market. So what are the futures saying? The futures are up by 10%, 0.1%. So that looks pretty promising for the day. Okay, for the hourly, that's a tiny spike. Moving over, what do I see for the DXY? It looks like it's gaining. It's hard to tell, but it looks like it's gaining more strength because it's over the 9-day moving average. But obviously, it's giving back a decent amount from what it gained yesterday. But it completely turned it around. It bounced off the 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average pretty nicely. The 200 days all the way down here. Bitcoin, nah, it's having a lot of trouble. Gold above 1700, so that's promising. Gold looks like it doesn't really want to go any further down because it doesn't really see the point. US 10-year oil, very strong, but also very overbought now. So we're going to see how that goes. And the 10-year oil is actually quite important. A lot of people say that this is actually where most of the money is played, and the stock market is whatever's left behind. So if the 10-year starts crashing down, then I would expect the markets to actually do the opposite, because the 10-year is then losing money, and then that money has to go somewhere. So there's a chance that it'll go to the stock market or housing and other stuff. But if it stays here, that means that this is the easy money, and this is a trustworthy money, and the stock market should be emptying out to come over here. Gold, oil, yeah, pretty beaten down. Copper, flat. I think it's kind of doing the same thing as gold. Amazon, pretty beaten down. Is it below the 50-day? Ooh, I think it is. That's a tough one, actually, because the last time it kind of did that, didn't go so well. So we're going to see how this goes. But anyway, I think Tesla's the last one. It's below the 200-day moving average. Actually, that's bad. That's bad. If it is actually below the 200, I think it found resistance hitting the 200. and it's going to have trouble breaking over that now with what's happening in the next couple of weeks. So there's a chance that Tesla might just flatline here with every single thing that's been given to it as a benefit. All the governments of the world are pretty much saying Tesla is the only car that everyone should ever buy and own. Looks like it's still hitting its head on the 200-day moving average, probably because no one can actually afford to get a Tesla and it's going to keep getting more expensive. Anyways, guys, I feel like I've covered a few random things here. Let me know what you think, especially for some of these larger term larger term timelines on what you think is going to happen with the card market. I personally think that we have hit I wouldn't say bottom, but we're very close to a bottom, especially for some of the prices I'm seeing, where if you can find a good deal, if you find a good deal, you're going to know it's a good deal. And when you get a good deal like that, the markets are probably going to take some time to get to it. And more importantly, even if they do, the other cards will probably drop even more. So you're still going to have some ways to get another good deal. So just don't go all in, but now is not a bad time to look into the markets, because at some point they're going to flatline, and we're better here than we were a couple of months ago to a couple of years ago. 2021 would have been a bad time, but like where we are now is probably half of the pressure as 2021 had. Maybe even less, because 2021 you couldn't even find some of these cards. So anyways, dragging it on, but have a good day and talk to you guys later. See ya.